Welcome back to Miss D Makes It Easier, and we've moved along. As you can see, we are now on part 2 of functions, and this is episode 1. So, the inverse of a function. So now we're moving on to inverse of a function. The inverse of a function f is written as f to the minus 1. So if f of x is equal to x plus 5, then f, the inverse of f, will be equal to x minus 5. Okay? Why? To find the inverse of a function, we can make the whole operation equal to y. And then once we do that, we could solve for x. So here we have an example. So if y is equal to x plus 5, like what we see here, and we need to solve for x, then we would say, then, because we're making x the subject of the formula, so we're going to say y minus 5 is equal to x plus 5 minus 5. We want to get rid of 5 to have just x, because we're solving for x. So cancel, and we're going to be left with x is equal to y minus 5. Now, so therefore, if x is equal to y minus 5, this is the inverse. Hence, the inverse of x would be f to the minus 1x, x minus 5. Just substitute the y with an x. That is all you have to do. So after you solve for x, after we make the whole operation equal to y, then we solve for x, whatever we get, like in this case, this answer now is fit in this area. But the y, we just discard that and place an x right there. Okay? So it's not too hard. So of course, we're going to have to do some problems to make sure we know what we are doing. Yeah! So let's try the following. So I broke them apart into sections that are easy, a section that is intermediate, and a section that will be considered difficult. Okay, so here's the easy part, something what we would have done a while ago, where if f of x is equal to x plus 1, what is the inverse of x? Remember, we're going to take this whole operation up here and equal it to y. So we're going to say, if y is equal to x plus 1, and we want to solve for x, then we're going to say y minus 1 is equal to x plus 1 minus 1. We want to get rid of x's friend, which is plus 1. So how do you get rid of a positive number? You subtract it from itself. So cancel, we are. And so now we're left with x is equal to y minus 1. And therefore, f, the inverse of f of x, would be x minus 1. Remember, we just remove the y and put an x in its place. Woohoo! So I hope you got that one. Okay, so let's try this one. K of x is equal to 5x. Remember, if a number is stuck or seemingly stuck to a letter, you're multiplying, so that's 5 times x. So we're going to say, if y is equal to 5x, whenever you're multiplying something you want to get rid of it, you just divide. So you want to get rid of what? The 5, so that x is by itself. So therefore, whatever you do to one side, you're going to do to the next. So x is equal to y over 5. Therefore, these dots mean therefore, the inverse of k of x will be equal to x over 5. Remember, again, we just replace the y with the x, and we have our inverse. And then let's try this one now. This one is a bit difficult, are a little more tedious than these two. These are a bit more straightforward, and so we're going to try this one. So this again is the operation here, 3x plus 1. So we're going to say if y is equal to 3x plus 1, we're going to say now we want to get rid of the 1 because 3, the x is attached to 3. So we're not going to touch that so long. That's 3 and the x are together, so that's x right there. So we're going to say y minus 1 is equal to 3x plus 1 minus 1. That cancels out. So we're left with y minus 1 equal to 3x. Doesn't this look like this? Yes, it does. So to get rid of the 3 now, we're going to divide by 3 and divide by 3 here. So now we know that x is equal to y minus 1 over 3. Therefore, the inverse of p of x is equal to x minus 1 over 3. Yay! You have just done your first 3 inverses. I use different letters just so that you get used to the fact that it's not always F you're going to use. It's not always G. You're going to sometimes see that some textbooks are going to mix up they're going to use different letters. They're going to use different letters. It doesn't matter. Okay, so get started. Open up your textbook. Start doing about 50 questions and get better at doing inverses. You're going to be very happy when school starts. Bye kids. Bye students. Have a great school year.